Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, if you go on eBay, you're going to be inundated with a lot of what I call fun notes. Um, they're not going to retain any value. They're never going to go up in value. They are fun notes to collect. There's notes with the Beatles on them. There's notes with all kinds of historical figures on them. There's notes with every cartoon character you can imagine. There's notes with basically anything and everyone on them. Now, I don't want to confuse these with Disney dollars. Disney dollars is its own separate thing, and so we're not going to talk about Disney dollars. I'm talking about all the other notes that are on there. First and foremost, the reason why that they don't have any value is because they are not restricted. Whoever printed them can print up 10,000 notes, sell all those notes, and then print another 10,000, and then another, and then another, and you have no idea how many of these notes actually got printed. That's why these notes aren't ever going to increase in value. There is no control over how many were there. There's no way of knowing how many were there. And because of that, we can't really assess them a value. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get them. If you collect notes with trains on them, you can find fantasy notes that have various different trains on them. And sure, go right ahead and add those to your collection. When I was a kid, I used to collect baseball cards, and the guy that I collected was Nolan Ryan. And there was a company called Broders that would print cards like I'm saying. They would take a random picture of a player and just print up 10,000 cards or 100,000 cards of this player. And then after they sold all them, they'd print up another 100,000, the exact same card. They weren't part of a series. They were just individual cards. There's no book on these cards because there's no rating on these cards. There's no, ranking or anything else like that. But these cards would typically sell for $1 or $2. And I collected as many Nolan Ryan cards as I could. Being a Nolan Ryan collector, I had a bunch of these Broder cards because that was my guy and I wanted to get all the stuff that he was on. Now, I bought them knowing that they were only worth $1 or $2, knowing that there was no way to resell them or anything, but I thought they were cool additions to my collection. Now, the fantasy notes that I'm talking about are the same way. If there are fantasy notes that fit the types of things that you like to collect, then by all means, enjoy the hobby. Spend a few dollars on those and add them to your collection. Just do it knowing that those are not going to be worth anything in the future. You get them for their enjoyment and for how they add to your collection, how they improve your collection. But no, not necessarily for the monetary value. All right, let's get these out of the way. Take a look at what I found this week. Got a Where's George? I've seen that one before. I will log it anyway. It's probably going to tell me I've found too many of those. Another Where's George here. This one's, I see this kind of stamp, but never in purple. So either this person changed their stamp to purple, or I found a new person with a similar stamp. Found an alternator. This one, the 1 alternates. You've got 1, 7, 1, 0, 1, 5, 1, 2. Then I've got a birthday note. Is this a birthday note? Let's see. Nope, this one's just a trinary, 0s, 2s, and 4s. And here's another trinary, 1s, 4s, and 9s. 3s, 4s, and 7s on this one. 4s, 6s, and 7s. That one's kind of rough. 4s, 5s, and 6s. And quads. This one is quad 3s. Quad 9s with a 5th. And quad 9s again. And some stars. Always checking the stars to make sure they're not filled in. 2017 star. Another 2017. The first one's a 2017A. This one's just a 2017. Another 2017. This one's a J note. 2013 with some writing. So if it's rare, if it's not rare, it's going to go back. Now this one's nice. 2013, starting off with 3 zeros, ending, so you've got 5 zeros in the note, in the serial number itself. If that's a regular number, that's 64,800. So that has potential to be a rare. Not all low numbers are rare, but most rares are low numbers. So whenever you see a lower number, I always get excited like that, just hoping that this could end up being a rare. And I just saw this right now. Not only is it a low number, wow, I got a filled in star. Didn't even know it. Just found that right now on camera. I got to put that in a sleeve. It's the second filled in star I've ever found. Here I am yapping about it and talking about zeros. It's a filled star. Very cool. Filled star number 2. Number 2. All right, we'll set that aside so that I can put that in a sleeve. All right. Back at it. 2013 star note. And 2003. So this is an older note. 2001 older note. I've been going on eBay looking for all kinds of stuff. You can see this line here. I must have counted at least 10 people selling a note that have that particular line. That's a counter stamp. That's when the bank teller tries to stamp something on the strap and they miss. So the stamp actually goes on the note itself. That's not an error. But anyway, 2001. Here's a 1999. 1995, not a web note. I should double check after finding that star. Let's see. 1995 again, not a web note. 1988A, also not a web note. And the oldest note I found this week is a 1985, and it's all taped together and stuff. So probably going to go back in circulation. But yeah, that's what I found this week. And let's look at that again. A filled star. How's the other one? The other one's okay. But that is definitely a filled star. Really, really cool. And now I'm really curious to see if it's a rare. So, yeah, if there's an update added to this, you'll know. All right, so what did I pull out from my collection this week? Well, since I was talking about fun notes and souvenir notes and things like that, I pulled out the souvenir notes that I have. Now, if you go to Europe, there are so many countries in Europe, and for the longest time, each country had their own currency. So by simply taking a train ride, you could collect all kinds of different currency, but it did kind of make it a pain as far as exchanging money goes and spending money. They have since all switched to the euro. But by all switching to the euro, they lost something. Each country lost their individual country's identity when it comes to currency. They're all using the same stuff. They're all euros. There's no difference anymore. So to bring back that individuality, they decided that each country was going to be allowed to make a souvenir euro, and it would be called the 0 euro. Now, the 0 euro looks exactly like a regular euro. Serial number here. It's got, you can see the embedded security feature. You can see it's got the hologram over here. Look at this side. When you hold it up to the light, the 0 completes by looking through. So I mean, it's got all of the features that you'd have on a regular note, but it is a 0 euro. And this particular one happens to be from the Santa Claus main post office in Finland, in the Arctic Circle. So that's kind of cool. Finland decided they were going to have Santa Claus be part of their note, and this is the note they came up with. The thing is, with this note, there was a mistake made. This note is the corrected version. Once they got their stuff together, they did it the right way. One of the other things I want to point out real quick here is this hologram is, if you were looking straight down the Eiffel Tower, that's what you would see. So that's a view of the Eiffel Tower, a bird's eye view looking straight down. All right, anyway, Finland came up with an Arctic Circle note, and they put Santa Claus on there. Now, they did make a minor boo-boo. This is, like I said, the corrected version, and this is the error. And the error, let's see if I line these up right here. Look how they spelled Arctic, A-R-T-I-C. And of course, it's supposed to be like it is on the top, A-R-C-T-I-C. So the Arctic Circle error. And yes, I've got 2 of the errors and I've got 2 of the correcteds. So since I was doing Santa Claus notes for December. Yeah, my Finland Arctic and Arctic Circle error notes are definitely going to make the list. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'm going to put this in a case. I'll see you next time.